What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 68 of Unfinished Business. Taylor joined as always by Corey, Tyler, and I guess as always Mac as well. Mac is back standing in for Matt, who is now on his honeymoon. Also almost got eaten by a gator, so Mac could really be here to stay depending on whether or not Matt actually comes back from his honeymoon. We'll see what happens. Prayers up.
Stay away from the gators, Matt.
Honestly, if we slur enough, Mac and Matt, they're just going to turn into the same name.
I think we just don't acknowledge it ever again, and just it's either Mac or it's Matt, and just we'll figure it out.
I don't think you're allowed to slur on YouTube.
We aren't monetized. Don't worry. They can't take us down.
We could probably use like some popular music too. They won't even do anything about it.
Electric Feel by GMC. Speaking
of doing stuff that you probably shouldn't, but you're going to anyway, here's a half gallon of chocolate milk.
This is a perfect segue into a segment that I just thought of, which is you've just finished a midsummer round of disc golf. You hit the gas station with $8 in your pocket. What is your post-round snack?
Ooh, this is a good one. Corey's like 4 chocolate milks.
I can go first to give people time to think. Mine is hot fries and pink Gatorade.
Like handicaps?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What was the budget again?
$8.
$8.
It's gonna vary for all of us because we live in different areas.
Yeah. Well, I have 2. Depends on like what I did.
I'm probably getting the a Prime Ice Pop. I'm getting a Snickers bar. And whatever's left over, I would love to get like a small bag of like Chex Mix or something like that.
Okay. My food is a go-to. My food is definitely like, I guess I have 2 answers depending on how healthy I want to be, kind of. But like, I love combos. Combos are like my favorite gas station snack of all time. So combos is almost like a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, what flavor? Pizza run, right?
Pepperoni pizza for sure. Yeah. And then probably either just like the soda fountain, just soda in general, or I'm a big Powerade guy over Gatorade for sure.
Ooh.
Although I will say Prime Lemonade, if it's available, Prime Lemonade is so good.
So good.
So good.
So the reason why Matt likes to bust my balls about the microplastics in Prime or the forever chemicals or whatever they're called, which I looked it up. It's not real. It's kind of like it's not that big a deal.
It's real, but it's in everything.
Yeah,
exactly. But anyways, the reason why I like Prime Switch is because it gives you like the electrolytes, the BCA or the ECAs or whatever. It makes you feel so refreshed later on in the day.
I like that they have coconut water in Prime. Coconut water is the GOAT.
It is.
Taylor, are you more
Hooligan Garrett in my chat says hostess donuts in a Celsius. I also is pretty likely that if I haven't already had more caffeine than I need in a day, an energy drink's probably going to replace the drink.
Celsius is a mainstay for me. The up and comer is actually, if you haven't had Uptime, I think it's
white,
the white. Yes, get the white label Uptime. That's the 0 sugar ones. Those things, amazing. They're borderline replacing Celsius for me. I'm not going to lie.
I've never had a Celsius.
I've had like every energy drink just because I wanted to try and taste like which ones taste better, which ones taste worse. And then my buddy also is one of the Midwest reps for Ghost. So a lot of the new flavors,
is so good.
Yeah,
a lot of the new flavors, I'll get like my buddy will be like, "Hey, come over and try this," and it'll be like months before it comes out. And then I try it, and I'm like, "This is amazing!" Now I have to wait months before I could actually physically get it. But
I have to be careful with Ghost because it's like 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah,
and like
it's juicy. I don't know what it is though. For some reason, I don't know if it's purely the caffeine or just like the full supplementation. Celsius can often be too much for me. I don't know why specifically Celsius, but like I can get kind of tweaked out on some Celsius.
I could see that.
Did you guys have like a Bang era?
I've never tried. I was
never on Bang.
Dude, those things have 300 milligrams.
Dude, they kick.
If I need to be awake, like for work or something, you can drink one of those, and you're like, yeah.
If I forget my pre-workout, I get one of those if I forget my pre-workout. Really?
But they do have that weird aftertaste.
I've only had one Monster Energy ever, and it was because I asked my mom to pick up like a coffee or something from the gas station, and she got me Java triple shot espresso Monster Energy.
So sugary and nasty too,
bro.
Dude,
the zero sugar monsters are low-key so good.
The white one,
heart palpitations.
Undefeated. Yeah, the white one is undefeated.
Bro, I love
could probably
the blue, the sugar-free blue monster, the mango. Oh, so good.
Have you guys ever had Full Throttle?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not zero sugar, but it is delicious, and I grew up on it.
What are your thoughts on Liquid Death?
I hate it. It's stupid. It's water. Well, it started off as water, like water in a can. Give me $5. I'm like,
you guys ever? No. I mean, as all of us age into our dad bods, I've definitely had the discovery that like, oh, I really I'm craving a soda. I want a soda. And if you just have like a sparkling water, like it's the same craving. Like you can just have water instead.
Yeah.
Dude, lately I've been chugging just ice water, and it's fulfilling that like soda pop. Like,
newsflash for Corey, water is good.
No.
This crazy thing I tried about
it's so hydrating.
Water, I'm just not thirsty anymore.
Water is so good, guys.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like.
I say is I have like extra large Coke from Zaxby's. Like,
no, I'm saying like I've always had water, especially if I'm like playing disc golf or something like that. But lately I've been at home and I'm like, oh, I could really use like a Dr. Pepper. And then I would just get ice water and chug it, and it would like remove, like mentally, it would remove that like Dr. Pepper need. Screw you, dude. I'm gonna have more chocolate milk. You don't have chocolate milk.
Guys, I'm thirsty and I drink water and I'm not thirsty anymore.
Speaking of
not thirsty. The taste.
Speaking of Corey needs some milk. You know who else needed some milk this last weekend? That was my guy Paul Macbeth. We just came out of Champions Cup. First major weekend. Looks pretty clear cut after day one who was going to win. Turns out that person decided to stop playing disc golf. So,
and are you sure about that?
Yeah. He needs some milk.
Oh man!
Yeah, he needed somebody. So there's a lot of storylines coming out of Champions Cup that Corey wants to talk about right now.
Well, we all know about the foot fault with Kristen.
What?
Does anybody actually want to say anything about it, or is it kind of just the?
So Corey just wants to get right to the punchline. He don't even want to care about anything else.
Let's get to the footfall. Everybody has to share their opinion for at least 5 minutes.
Jamie, show the clip.
My question is, Kristen got called on a foot fault because she, like, while releasing, kicked the disc because her foot slid forward.
Yeah.
Did Paul get a foot fault slipping on that throw?
Did he touch his disc?
I don't know.
Was there a marshal that worked for an organization that's against his success?
Oh wow! There we go.
Was it hole 18, or was it
when this tournament?
Hole 12. Hole 12 was Paul's slip.
It was one of the water carries, but hole 12 on his second shot, I believe, he like slipped, like bracing.
Drive was so good too, man.
Did he
fully
fall
spun
over
around and fell onto? No, he like his foot slid forward and then he like twisted. He basically did a 360 and then fell on the ground.
Yeah,
if he never touched his disc and he never broke the plane, it doesn't matter.
But you can't tell. So I guess that the question was...
You couldn't tell for the other one, too. So...
Yeah, but I feel like when you watch it in real time, I feel like to me it was like, oh, yeah. I mean, she definitely hit the disc before she let go of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to open the conversation with this, and everybody have your one word answer, and then we'll talk about it more. But
I love it.
Do you think that this foot fault call from the marshal on Kristen on hole 16 was good? Yes or no? Was this occurring a good thing?
Should I start?
No.
Anybody can. I'm going to say no.
No.
But it was the right call, but official should not be stepping in. Kristen should be saying, I foot faulted.
Neutral. Kristen even knows that she foot faulted.
Of course she did, because she came back and said, well, did I release the disc by the time I hit my disc?
I mean, how do you know that the millisecond before you release the disc, you kicked your disc? You're not looking at your feet.
True. She might have not realized it, but I'll tell you right now, when I'm in a big pressure moment and I make my throw, I look down as soon as I throw in tournaments to make sure my foot's okay. I mean, that's just me.
Here's the thing, though. She planted in a spot where she would have been fine, but then she slid forward because of the ground.
Right.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Foot faults are stupid 95% of the time. There's no reason a foot fault should ever be called unless someone is intentionally gaining a competitive advantage.
I think we can all agree on that, though.
Now, can I say that this call was wrong? No, the call was correct. Right. But is it a call that needed to be made? No, because I am very much of the rules of the game of disc golf are very much in the spirit of the rules, not in the language of the rules. Right. So this can technically be a foot fault.
I can't read.
But what do we mean when we say when we read the rules of foot, or when we make the rules of foot fault? Like, the point is that you don't get a competitive advantage of it. Did Kristen get a competitive advantage by slipping 2 inches forward and accidentally touching her disc? No. And in fact, she'd probably a disadvantage because she slipped. So, like, what are we doing? Why are we calling this?
And here's my whole thing too. I completely agree with all of that, but I think the biggest issue for me is that everybody wants to have marshals. Like, I think we've all agreed that marshals are good. Like, marshals should be out on the course. One, I don't think in any situation, especially not in the last 3 holes of a major championship in the final round, should a marshal be the person initiating a penalty call. I think 100%. The marshal should be there. And if Missy called the foot fault, the marshal can be the bad guy and say, I second it. You foot 100%. Faulted. That's a stroke. The biggest issue to me, though, is like, we should have marshals, yes, but it's so inconsistent. I can remember 3 marshal involvements in disc golf. The one that wanted to fight Nico, the one that Nico wanted to fight. Sorry, I won't put that on the marshal.
The one that wanted to fight Nico.
He probably wanted to fight Nico.
That's
too.
Wild.
When Gannon got warned for a time violation in the Pro Tour Championship last year, in the final round, in the final holes, when he's trying to come back, in this. So, like, why the marshal should be there, and if you're gonna call something, call it on like day 1 or 2, and let the lead card know, like, hey, we're out here, we're not messing with rules, we're gonna call it. But don't wait until hole 16 and then call a foot fault on Kristen. And if you watch the coverage on Missy's next throw, she plants like a 1.5 feet to the left of her disc and also foot faults. And the marshal's just talking to Kristen about her foot fault. Like, it's just so inconsistent.
Well, if we want marshals, we should have a marshal on all 18 holes.
That's impossible. They don't even do that on the Pro Tour.
Well, this is the same reason that you can't use video evidence, right? Because it's unfair to every card. So if we can't have a marshal on every card, why are we allowing them to make any rulings?
Marshals cannot, I should say this. Marshals should not get involved with making a call unless they're asked to intervene or there is evidence showing that an incorrect play was played. So, like, all of us are golfers now that I know. All of us are golfers. So we know, at least I think we know, on the PGA Tour, if someone catches you doing something wrong and you don't call it on yourself, or you don't mark it on your scorecard, and then you go and you sign your scorecard and somebody says, oh, remember when you actually grounded, I'm making this up, you grounded your club in the bunker? Well, that should be a 2-stroke penalty, so you should have 2 more strokes in your score. Well, you signed a wrong scorecard, which means disqualification. So when it comes to disc golf, that marshal should not have ever gotten involved unless, I don't know. I don't even know.
I like the marshal being there to be the bad guy. Like, nobody wants to call stuff in disc golf. We know that's the culture. That's fine. have the marshal there, and I don't even mind them not being there for every card. Like if we just want to focus on, we don't have the resources to focus on the full tournament, let's at least focus on like what everybody's watching. That's fine with me. Just you can't be the initiator. Like if somebody wants to call something and they need somebody to be the bad guy and like go explain to the player like, hey, it's a penalty stroke because he took 45 seconds. And I think even time's kind of different because that the marshal can have a stopwatch, right? And that's like a very black and white. You took 43 seconds. Here's your penalty stroke versus, oh, I'm trying in real time. And if you freeze frame in 1 millisecond, it looks like you didn't release the disc before you accidentally slipped into it. Like it's just it's the complete like wrong rule for a marshal to be involved in.
And we all know that, people footfault all the time a little bit and nobody ever calls on each other because exactly what we've said. I hate to think the whole spirit of the rules thing. I think that we got to change something about that. I don't like it, but everyone foot faults at some point in time in a small shape or form. It always comes down to, do you get an actual competitive advantage? Are you trying to do that? And people have done that in the past. Why that person decided in that moment to interject is crazy because that person's a disc golfer and even they know that like people foot fault a little bit all the time.
And someone's doing a great point as well. Around. The fact that the marshal doesn't have to be seconded as well is insane to me. Like, like that the rules for if you're a player on the card, you have to be seconded, but the marshal doesn't. Like that's kind of wild.
It's also not as if the marshal is any more qualified than any of these people, right? Because all they have to do is pass the PDGA TD certification, which is the biggest joke in an exam ever. Like it's open book, 25 trick questions, right? You should, if you have 2 brain cells, you should be able to figure that test out. So like you need to have, I think one, there needs to be multiple tiers of official, like there needs to be, okay, you know the rules well enough to play in this event and run C tiers versus a like actual rules official. There needs to be a more stringent test for this. And like you have someone that is, deciding how you would deal with situations and whether or not that's a good thing, right? And those are the people that are marshaling. Those are the people that are running A tiers and pro tours and stuff like that. So we don't have a good certification, but going off of what Tyler said about getting the kind of spirit of the game out of it, I agree and disagree, right? I think that you leave too much ambiguity by being like, well, this is how I interpret the rule. Right. But I do think you need some ambiguity because when you get this technical about the sport, it just turns into a crapshoot. Right. Like, can you really tell from 30 feet away if someone stepped within their pinky toe within the sheet of paper? Can you? Really?
It's why you always err further back.
I think you should be able to go farther back than a sheet of paper.
Well, I mean, I agree. Like, what gets me too is like she didn't mark her disc. And if she marked her disc, where she even slid to would have been fine, right? Like that's the weird part of disc golf rules. Like,
yeah, it also doesn't make sense that we make you mark in front of your lie when you could just mark the disc to the back of the lie, but not have your mini go backwards, right? So you're still getting the same effective lie. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing I have to say is yes, marshals matter, but Marshall Mathers, B Rabbit, Eminem.
Bum, 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 bum.
He went to Cranbrook. That's a private school.
I do love, I got a highlight for the recorded podcast, Max saying if you have 2 brain cells, you could be an official. Scott with the quick, that eliminates half the podcast, was quality work.
We might not have 2 brain cells, but I have a half gallon of chocolate milk.
I can't believe Kristen and Champions Cup has a going issue with each other. Makes no sense.
Do we know that official wasn't Elaine King in disguise?
That's a good question. The next thing that I'm going to wonder now is like coming down the stretch at either Worlds or the other European major, we can have a marshal out there just like stroking Paige, stroking Missy, like anybody that's not Kristen, just, hey, foot fault.
Probably need to like start using a different word, but yeah, I agree.
Shoe
fault?
Stroke them.
I know it's a funny thing on the PGA Tour that people have been using. Oh, by the way, speaking of PGA Tour, I think it's so funny. Golfs? We all golf. Don't even get me started.
I don't golf.
There's no more anymore. I think it's so funny how it seems like all of the things that disc golf's been going through over the last couple of years trying to figure out that golf is actually now getting into. Like, people are getting upset about how long it's taking golfers to play and how to figure that out.
Yeah.
And stroking people. And then also the thing comes out about the new PGA Tour Championship. They're going to be doing it the way that disc golf does it. So I think it's so funny how we've said, let's just do it the way golf does it. And now golf's like, let's just do it the way disc golf's doing it. And so I think what I've heard in golf is they want a 45-second timer per shot. And I'm just like, bro, if they start doing that, they're screwed, because you cannot be timing people in the game of golf at all. What they need to do is the way they've been doing it forever, which is, here's the allotted time that you have to take in your round. This is the allotted time you have per hole. And if you get a certain time frame out of where you should be the next hole, that's when we start, penalizing you. And that's the way we should be doing in disc golf too. But, I don't know.
I mean, we should take the 30-second rule away entirely. There should not be any constraints on a single throw whatsoever. It should just be that someone is monitoring pace of play and they see you're 2 holes behind the group in front of you. Get out there and tell them to hurry up. And if they don't, stroke them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
completely agree.
If you really want to speed up pace of play, Nate Heinold needs to buy segways for everyone that's playing.
Or
Corey has been obsessed with Nate Heinold and his
alligators on the course.
It was so funny.
Alligators
on the course.
Matthew in my chat says, what if it's only one person
Matt will
the
have
card? I think that's the situation where like a marshal would actually be helpful. Like that's the situation we need a marshal for, to go out and tell Cupcake to actually let the putt go.
Well, no, the PGA posted that really feel-good article about him, so you can't stroke him anymore.
Okay, this just triggered me again. You know what triggers me? That we're going to get a PDGA article about like, hey, Cupcake just has anxiety, he can't putt. They're not going to address this situation at all. This is nobody saying anything on the PDGA about this, but we're going to get an article about how Cupcake just has anxiety and can't putt.
To Scott's point, Scott said that as Birdie says, everyone should be hustling to their disc and speed running their round. I don't agree with that statement, but Birdie's general sentiment, I think, is correct. Far too often do I see people taking way too much time to play, right? Like, I have a pretty fast pace of play, but I take my time when it comes to my disc. That's because I do throwing my disc. That's because I do all the other stuff while other people are throwing, right? Like, I'm range finding. I'm figuring out what disc I want to throw while other people are doing things, right? Like, I get far enough up the fairway to where I'm not impeding anyone, but I'm going to get to my disc in a timely manner. Okay. It's not hard. Like, people get sucked into talking to their card mates or like, hold on, let me sit down, dig through my disc, wipe it off, put my chalk on. Like, figure it out. You got to go faster, because I'm tired of getting backed up for 3 holes into a tournament. It doesn't make sense. It happens all the time at every tournament.
How do you feel about Brody's other response to pace of play, where he said, if there's a par 3 and you are putting, let the card behind you play throw off of the tee and then finish putting, because then by the time they walk there's no like time difference. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I know what you're saying. I hate that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't like the idea that someone is throwing into your group while you're playing. Now, if we're talking about
you would be stopping and like watching them throw.
Yeah, but you're standing there watching the disc so you don't get hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's silly. Now, if it's like a par 4, I don't think you have to wait for them to like finish out on the green to drive halfway down the fairway. But like, yeah, you guys go ahead and throw while I figure out where my disc is. Like, no, that's a different situation to me.
Okay. But I mean, to Mac's point, like, that's genuinely 70% of the reason I just don't want to play tournaments like ever is it just takes so long to play around a disc golf for no reason.
That's why I don't play tournaments anymore. It takes all day long.
Fast.
Yeah.
It is not hard to play fast at all. I have played tournaments that were full and everyone played at a good pace, and we finished by like 3:00. Versus the ones where like I'm chasing the sunset, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about multiple 5-hour rounds, and it's like, what are we doing? Yes, spectators are another issue for sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean by spectators are another issue?
Scott said that it's also an issue if the card has spectators. But to be honest, the spectators, I don't care about. Figure it out. Hurry up if we're going too fast. The spectators should probably just be in their own designated areas anyway, and should have no impediment on the players. Yeah. So now that's a little harder in disc golf because we play wooded courses and we don't have like designated spectator areas in the trees. But like all these open courses, Ledgestone, whatever, D-Glow, you get to stand on the tall grass toboggan hill, and that's where you stand. And you're going to get shot and killed if you get out of that area.
That's what the marshal is actually there for. Speaking of courses that we play, though, what do you guys think of the course here for Champions Cup? Some typical OTB course with some changes for Champions Cup, but what are we thinking?
Synthetic. I like the course, not for Champions Cup.
I thought it was just synthetic woods is what I'd call it. As close as they could, because I think the fairways are pretty tight. So there's like really no rough, which I'm totally fine with. So I like that it was very tight. A lot of OB and a lot of wind. The wind was a cool factor.
Yeah.
So
I like OTB.
Mac, your mic is killing us.
What is it doing?
You're doing something on your table, aren't you?
I don't think so.
I'm the only one that was hearing the.
I didn't know what it was though.
You hear that, Mac?
Oh, interesting. Okay,
that's what yours is sounding like.
Hands up. I like OTB, and I think they do well for the topography and the land that they have. Like Corey said, I don't love it for Champions Cup. I do wish that the preserve was like more like OTB is, because I feel like there's similar types of like landscape.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm talking about that is because I just watched the Simon video of him and Kale. If any of you watched that,
not yet, but I want to. How much did he change of the course?
Like 4 or 5 holes.
Okay.
They like completely changed 1 or 2 of the holes, and then the other ones they just kind of tweaked the layout. There's one thing that I entirely disagree with that he did, but it's going to be impossible for me to explain it without you having seen it. So,
okay. Well, speaking about course change, how do you feel about the green course that they're going to be playing for 26 Worlds?
It's going to be sick.
Okay, good. For those of you who don't know, they are doing toboggan and also one of the other courses on the same property, but they are making it a championship level course as opposed to the pro course, I guess you could say, that we had the whole time. And me and Mac went out and looked at it, and it is freaking sweet, except for one hole, which we believe is hole 17. It does not make any sense.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to cut some stuff for that one. But I think in general, the changes they're making are good if they do the things that we thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a really fun addition. It kind of reminds me of WR Jackson, honestly, a little bit. So if you miss Old Champions Cup, I feel like it's going to be a similar type of course to that, where it's tight woods at times, but it is fair wooded fairways the most time. What did you call it? Viridian?
Yeah, I call it Viridian because it reminds me of Viridian Forest in the original Pokemon, where it's like grass with like bushes on both sides. Yeah. That's what that course reminds me of. What if after this, if they like it so much, what if that becomes Champions Cup? And then they have like Champions Cup and D-Glow back-to-back weeks.
Didn't they already say that they were gonna do Champions Cup at New London?
Like forever,
so.
or
I don't know about forever.
Okay,
I
thought their initial or ultimate plan was to actually go back to WR whenever that was ready.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's possible.
I don't think that. At least I haven't heard anything positive about that course actually being designed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish they would have an idea of what they want each major to be. Mm-hmm. That's what I would love. That way we can have some consistency, and like that's how you create a more, I don't know how to say this other than this, like serious sport is like, you know, every sport has its, or individual sports has its major or grand slam, like they have in tennis. Like it's very defined. Like this is it, this does that. Like I wish if we had that staple in disc golf, we would have like more of like history for people to like chase. But we don't have.
I feel like we're close in that. Like USDGC is USDGC. Like I feel like that's the closest we do have. I think Worlds rotating and having a course of both disciplines, I guess I'll say, like more open and more wooded, exists. I think it's the others that are, which I mean European Open is only in question now because we are losing the course. So
as long as it's in Europe,
in peace.
That covers my thing about the European Open.
Yeah, I guarantee
just replace Champions Cup with the Japan Open. Let's just go back to Japan and throw 150 class discs again, man.
Dude,
that would
Japan
be so
Open
sick.
was so sick.
Yeah.
But we could literally go to any European course. It could be the crappiest course to the people that live around it, but because it's brand new for us, we'd be like, "This is amazing,
so sick."
So, yeah, I don't think that.
Or just go to like in golf, they go usually to like Great Britain, so it could be like Scotland, could be Ireland, could be England. Like they should just go to like Finland or like Sweden for like European Cup, right? Like those are the people that like really pay attention to disc golf. So they should. Or just
the other thing that I was thinking was, what if they turned it into, instead of European Open, it's International Open, and every 3 years it's either in Europe, Japan, or Australia. Because they've had
World Tour, maybe bring back the World Tour.
But every 3 years, it's either at one of those locations, and it kind of just rotates. And then that way, you have 3 years to make this course the best thing ever. And then if you do end up lose the course, you can just go somewhere else, and you have 3 years to make sure that it is the best thing. Yeah.
I just want us to consistently, and I know we are this year, but like Kona Piste, man, Kona Piste is the sickest course of all time. IMO. Heavily influenced by the fact that there's a castle on it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Real quick, I just wanted to wrap up points for Champions Cup since we're kind of wrapping up the Champions Cup talk. If you were not aware, Isaac Robinson won. If you're
didn't even talk about the MPO.
If you're double not aware, Tyler picked Isaac Robinson to win, so he gets 6 points for the major. And then, I mean, is it a Mac curse? Mac is doing work for people when he's making picks. Mac also gets 6 points for AB, and then Connor Rock, back-to-back Dark Horse appearances.
My
goat. The only one that cashed. So our points are now up to Tyler and Matt tied at 12. I have 8, and Corey has 3. But Corey's cooking. Just let Corey cook up over there. Don't worry about him.
Can we get to like the championship round of tonight's debate?
I say, do you guys want to get into it?
We need to get into it now.
All right.
Like
so if you don't know, if you're not in our Discord, there's been a conversation brewing in our Discord about Gannon Buhr versus Isaac Robinson. The initial question, which let's go through it. The initial question was, who's quote unquote locked in is better between Gannon Buhr and Isaac Robinson? To which I said it's Gannon Buhr, and it's not even close, which was met with some harsh criticism of that opinion. So I think we got to talk it out. I think for me, I'm misunderstanding the question. So can you, in 7 words or less, describe the question?
What you did on your story the other day was who has a higher ceiling. And that's a totally different question.
Very different.
So I think Gannon Buhr.
Can I explain my brain?
Sure.
I read that who's locked in is better. So when you're locked in, who at their peak of their abilities between Gannon Buhr or Isaac Robinson is better? Who at their highest skill ceiling is better? And in my opinion, it's Gannon Buhr, and it's not even close.
I want to know why you think it's not even close. That's what I'm curious about.
So when I think about ceiling as opposed to locked in, I think locked in is closer to like your average dominance and not the peak. I think Isaac has a higher ceiling because if he pops off, he pops off. But I think if Gannon is in like that lane, he's going to win. It's just
so
maybe not as...
You think Isaac's best is better than Gannon's best?
Yes, but
I think Gannon's is so much better, it's literally not even close.
Yeah, I fully disagree with that point. Not you. I agree with you, Tyler or Taylor. I think that Gannon Buhr is way better than Isaac Robinson in terms of his highest ceiling. When I hear locked in, I think of, all right, it is on. You were in tournament mode. You were like leading this tournament. How do you react? Right? Isaac Robinson, when he is locked in and he's leading a tournament, no one is catching him. And you think of 2023 Worlds, you think of 2024 Worlds. He won by 4 and 5 strokes, respectively.
Yeah.
Okay, I think. Or was that Champions Cup? No, he won Champions Cup by 5 strokes. He won 2024 Worlds by 4 strokes. All right. He won 2023 by 2, and he won this one by 1, but he laid up on the last hole. Right. And at no point this past Champions Cup was probably the one where it was like the closest. But you think of like the Worlds at Fox Run. No, he didn't give anyone a chance to catch him because he is disgusting on the putting green when he's locked in. Anything inside of 50 legitimately is going in. All right. He's not throwing out of bounds. And the reason that I say he's a better locked in than Gannon is because I have watched Gannon be rattled.
Yeah.
Even if that means that he still wins the tournament, he gets rattled and he looks shaky on the green. Right? He looks shaky off the tee. That even if he executes, right, it's a mentality thing for me. Yeah, Isaac Robinson, steel trap when he's locked in. That's my point.
I have nothing else to say because that's exactly how I feel.
No,
that's how I took it. And that's how I took it. Like, if it's the last round of Worlds and somebody's leading a tournament, who am I more scared of, Gannon or Isaac? For me, it's Isaac.
If Isaac gets in front of you, I don't feel like I could catch him.
Isaac is like Tiger Woods, right? If he's winning, it's over.
Who is more outwardly intimidating to play against? Then I can definitely agree that it's Isaac. I will also agree if the question is who plays better at Worlds. Obviously, it's Isaac. But I guess the thing I thought about was there is not a shot on a disc golf course that if someone walked up to me and said, this shot has to be executed or I will kill you, there is not a shot that exists that I would pick Isaac to execute over Gannon. Ever.
Wow.
I'd pick one, but it would be like that flippy little fairway driver turn, but that's about it, right? Or like a 45 footer.
No, I mean, my mindset is when I asked that question, I was thinking like when it comes time to these big events and you have to play well and you have to get it done, like I'm choosing Isaac to have to get it done over Gannon. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Taylor, that Gannon obviously I think has the higher ceiling than Isaac. I mean, he's elite on both sides of the disc. He's consistently the best Circle 2 putter on tour. He's a good Circle 1 putter. No one can deny it. So like, yeah, who's the better player? It's Gannon. But who's better locked in? I think Isaac, and I think this is the reason that you've seen Isaac have more wins than Ezra, because I think Ezra is actually a better player than Isaac.
He gets
like skill wise. Yeah, he gets rattled. He's right here. But Isaac has that different gear where it's like, I'm just going to do the thing, and then he does it.
What's interesting to me too about Isaac is that it's not like we've never seen Isaac falter in tournaments that he's been in contention, which is not like the biggest number, but it's like majors and Idlewild. And the time he faltered and lost a lead was Idlewild and not two world championships or two other majors.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like in that round, like you could see him getting frustrated. It's just strange to me that like that's the one over all of the options.
Yeah.
I just want to give a oh, go ahead.
No, I was just ending the point. You're good.
I was just giving a couple shout outs to Adam Hemmes getting top 5 and Ezra Aderhold getting a top 10. I mean, of course, Sullivan tipped him, but he's like the obvious, but I was trying to throw in some guys in there.
Yeah, to your point, like I think there's more to talk about in MPO that we kind of glazed over, like Andrew Marweed on a lead card, Sullivan Tipton leading a major on the final day. Like it was definitely a very surprising weekend. And I think to that point too, and I'll get back, that one of the best things about Isaac, and I this also, it's a very backhanded compliment, but I'm going to say, like, I think the fact that Isaac does have limitations is one of the best parts about his game, that he accepts those and just plays like the highest percentage shot at all times. Like Isaac won this weekend because he did not go OB. Like Paul went OB 19 times.
Yeah. He does what he knows he can do.
Yeah.
And he can do a lot.
He's very good at playing within himself.
Yep. Especially his shot, like on hole 1, it's very like apparent. I'm going to throw the shot. It's a safer shot. And if I make the putt, I make the putt. I mean, out of the top 5 guys, he's the only one to birdie it. Sullivan tipped him birdie it, but he was tied for 5th. But out of those guys, he was the only one to birdie it.
Mac, for the classic unfinished business question, like what player, when they win a major, would you cry for? Is your answer, is your top answer Sullivan Tipton?
Dude, either him or Matty O. But like Sully, I put in the Discord, if Sullivan won this tournament, I would have started burning cars. Because like it would have been full downtown Detroit. The Lions just won the Super Bowl for me.
Please don't burn my city.
I'm burning Corey's car.
I thought you were saying, please don't burn my car. Yes. No, when I say I'm burning cars, I'm going to Corey's house.
Don't burn.
I mean, Sully's he's an Alabama boy. He's from Birmingham. I've played a couple turns with him. I'm not like good friends with the guy by any means, but talk to him a good bit. We're very friendly. He's a stand-up guy. He's great. So I would love to see him win.
He seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he is very cool. And I am a huge Sullivan Tipton fan.
Can I just take a moment to just like fully air out how depressed I was watching this tournament this weekend? I think I turned the final round off.
I've been waiting. I was this is why I bring up MPO, because I was like, no, Taylor cannot just glaze right over MPO and not talk about Paul.
Oh man, I mean, it was like the full arc was like, I'll relate to this as a Titans fan. It was like if the Titans made the playoffs next year, and I'm like, we're here, bro. Like, this is it. We're the 1 seed. Nothing can go wrong. And the crazy thing to me is like Paul right now physically has every shot that he's ever had in the years of dominant Paul. Like he has, his putting was back this weekend, which is the big reason. At least his putting was back Thursday, which is the biggest reason he shot so well. He's playing as well as he was then. I have never seen Paul get rattled the way Paul got rattled this weekend. He took 2 back-to-back OBs on like hole 12 or 13 round 2. Mentally was never the same. And like highlight his hole 18 final putt that just doinked a 15-footer and went straight out of bounds. Like that, I just knew it was just so over. Like it was actually just so over at that point. But I felt like body language, you could just tell he had like given up halfway through like round 2. Like he took those 2 bad breaks back to back and was just on tilt for the rest of the entire event.
So the thing I want to bring up is that like after the round one, you're like, okay, he's got a 3-shot lead, but then let's really look at who he was leading over. Andrew Miranda, Jesse Niemanen, Adam Hemes, Andrew Marweed, James Proctor, and then you get the Gannon Buhr at 8 under. He was leading Gannon by 6 strokes, and all those people above Gannon are just like, they're good, but like, are they really going to be able to keep up with Paul the rest of the way?
Yeah. I mean, Paul had
I did not watch
shots
on Friday, Saturday, or the beginning of Sunday.
Paul had 6 shots.
No, I was just saying, like, I watched Thursday, saw this leaderboard, and I literally thought it's over. Paul's winning something, but then apparently,
apparently,
I've never been on live television before.
Is Paul officially washed?
No,
I don't think so. But dude, it's getting scary. Like, because like Taylor said,
this is bad.
He has all the shots, and they look great. Like, they look really good. But I think he just wants it too much.
Yes, that's what
he's trying to force the old Paul.
I would be more concerned if it was the opposite.
When you have the old Paul, you should be able to force it.
But he isn't the old Paul.
If Paul was locked in, but just like couldn't throw the disc, I would be more concerned. Like I think it's exactly that, Mac. Like I think he is very, very stuck on the majors, like total, like Ty and Ken. I think he's very like mentally stuck on that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 996 from the last round.
He was. Oh, well, I was going to say. I mean, he was how many strokes under halfway through round 2, and then the winner was what 26 was what Isaac, and then he finished at 15.
Yeah.
He needed 6 birdies.
How many strokes did he take from missing putts that went in the water?
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's his scramble, because on round 2 he was 0 for 3. Round 3 he was 2 for 5, and the last round he was 3 for 7.
I was looking at like just his fairways and regulation through the rounds, just tank.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. His lowest was 74%. I don't think that's terrible.
It was the kinds of misses that he had. No, 74% isn't very good by tour standards, but
I don't know what the average is.
He also missed at like the worst times, because I think he airballed one in the water. He had the one little like splash out that went into the water, which granted maybe not his fault, but even day one, he went for those long putts that like, yeah, he made them. He barely made them, but like that could have been disastrous for his round.
Yeah.
If it had been an inch short and he stands up and rolls in the water, like that's just, yeah, it's great when you do it and you shoot 14 under and it's like, wow, your highest rated major round ever. But like, what happens when that misses and now you squander your round, right? And then you go from 20 under to 15 under by the end of the tournament.
Yeah, but isn't the only way you win, like, you go for it?
Not when you're Paul, I don't think.
I mean, what did Isaac? We just got done talking about Isaac doing just the, what he knows he can do. Smooth sailing. Yeah. Listen, the winning golf is this: don't go OB, make your circle 1 putts, and put yourself in the best high percentage shot every single time. That's winning golf.
So anytime you're in circle 2, you should just lay up.
No, but I'm saying how you win is making all your circle 1s. That makes winning very easy. It makes it a lot easier.
It depends on the course, right? Because like disc golf is significantly different than golf in this way, where any golf course you have to play, like on the Pro Tour, any golf course on the PGA Tour, you have to play smart. Obviously, that's different for certain courses, like Augusta's one, where you got to really pick where you want to land, right? But to a certain extent, you have to be smart with what you're doing. Versus we go play like Preserve, it's a birdie fest. Like you just have to make every putt, right? So I get running it, but this course had an insane amount of out of bounds. Mm-hmm. Over 4 rounds, the winner was 26. So what? That's like 6.5 under every round. Let's say Paul lays up every circle 2 putt. So that means he's like 2 strokes less, or every danger circle 2 putt. He's 2 strokes less on the first round, but he probably gains like 6 over the course of the tournament if he does that.
I wonder if the first round almost baited him a little bit. Like baited at him and like in the rest of the tournament to like really try to push when he didn't need to.
He was like, "Oh, I could do this again and again and again." And
I don't know if it's considered baiting. I think maybe his ego got in the way. He was like, he's like, people have been talking. I'm just gonna go out here and I'm gonna smash everybody. I mean, you shoot 14 under, you're gonna go out there thinking, okay, I'm just gonna do this again.
Yeah. He's the master until he's baited.
Gets you every time.
I think Paul's every time. He's going through a little bit of a Yuli scenario where Yuli had that stretch of years where he was just really bad on tour. And it's because he was trying to play like he did in like 2014. And now Yuli plays like the old man disc golfer that he is, and he plays pretty good for like someone that's about to be a Masters.
If it wasn't Paul, would you say he's playing bad on tour right now?
No, but it's because I know what Paul can do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
because I know Paul can go shoot a 14 under.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me ask you. I mean, I could say this, and like, if you had to choose one of these players to win the next major, who are you choosing, Calvin or Paul?
Which one's the next major?
It doesn't matter. I'm just.
I don't really care which one. I'm not picking Calvin.
Oh yeah. I mean, Calvin's a tough one for me to pick to win anything, to be honest.
It'll be European Open, I think.
Okay. I mean, Paul is disgusting in Europe. So
Paul and European Festival Open or Festival before Worlds?
I mean, Worlds and Euro is in Europe, so it doesn't even matter. But then, you know, USDGC, Paul has won that, multiple times. So
I don't think it's a bad pick for Paul for any of these majors. Right? Like, I really don't. But he's scared me a little because it's just going to keep piling on, right? Where he can live in the headspace of like, man, I'm right there. I just need to fix like this thing or this thing. And like, I'm good. You can stay in that positive headspace for so long. But once this happens like 10 times where you're right there and you lose it, I don't know if you recover from that, to be honest.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's a confidence thing.
Can we just reflect for a second that I'm just looking at the schedule and we're going to have the European Disc Golf Festival Major on 7/17 to 7/20 and then Worlds 2 weeks after 7/30 to 8/3. It's going to be wild times for disc golf for a couple weeks.
Yeah. I just want to also mention Calvin had like the opposite Paul effect. He shot 3 under, even 5 under, and then 12 under.
Classic Calvin, man.
Does.
Dude, coming classic Calvin. Classic.
40th to like 12th on the last round.
He jumped 24 spots the last round.
Yeah. I never had much stake in Calvin, but I've fully given up on Calvin.
I've been saying it as early as last year.
Yeah,
I keep.
And then you immediately pick him
because because I'm thinking this is the time. Maybe he's gonna come back at me, but yeah. I don't know. Wild tournament.
Any true disappointments out there? I gotta say, disappointed in Garrett Gurthey over at
Ezra Robinson
after he had a very good round one. Thought my dark horse would pay off, didn't make the cut. Shout out Double G.
Ezra Robinson 39th.
Disappointed in James Proctor. He shot very well the first round and then missed cash by 1 stroke. Someone I'm not disappointed in, Silas Schultz. 14th place for Mr. Schultz.
I think Silas Schultz is like this year's Austin Turner, as in the dark horse conversation of just like probably should just be the lock for dark horse.
No, that's Connor Rock.
So I picked this person before I picked the eventual winner of this tournament. Gavin Rathbun finished in 59th.
That's tough.
And I picked him second.
So what is he throwing now?
Prodigy.
Oh. I'm staring directly at you, Mac.
So low.
What was said last week? I said
DNF
Robert.
Watch. Just for Tyler's knowledge, nobody wild on the DNF watch.
It's so funny. It is so funny that we made one random person on the DNF watch and then have not updated
We
it.
have not gone back to that segment.
I thought it would be something to like keep my eye on, but there's nothing exciting about it.
There'll be one this year, a fraudulent DNF.
Hey, Eliezra DNF'd, and I don't know why. After the second round,
she had like a really, really bad blister on her throwing like hand that she couldn't get over.
She constantly has that though.
I've heard that's I know Casey White's talked about that before. How like at some point in the season, like his finger will just split, and it's like inevitable.
Yeah, that's why.
Scott's question: what happened to Double G Craft Jerky? I think they moved suppliers. I think it's still a thing, but I do know that they moved suppliers for their jerky.
Yeah, I just want to say Robert Burridge, I said last week he was washed. He came in 67th place. So, yeah. Wash. Officially, Robert Burridge washed. A mere 2 years into his career.
He's done. Back it up. Shout out to Eagle. Eagle is up there. 13th. Getting it back.
I'm worried about Eagle.
Eagle did better than Simon.
Here's my question. Will we ever see Eagle as a legitimate top player again?
No. It's over.
Good question.
It's over.
I don't know.
I
want to say yes so bad, but it's just in his brain.
Dude,
in his brain.
Guys, he's got H. Pierce syndrome.
He's got the bag. He's got the girl. He's got the music videos. He's cooked. He's done, dude.
He has the spirit of the wind dragon.
I mean,
how old is he?
25, 6, something like that.
There's a chance.
He's like 2 years younger than me.
There's still a chance.
I think his best chance is like late 20s.
27.
He hits a stride where he's like, what have I been doing for like 3 years?
I think he needs, dude, what if he shows up 29, dyed black hair?
No, like we need bleached. We need bleached back.
Dyed black hair, emo cut. So it's
Tobey
like
Maguire Spider-Man 3 look.
Yes. Okay.
And then he's just ripping. I like that.
I mean, I'm here for an Eagle comeback.
I think Paul Macbeth needs to do the bleach tips.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I miss 2000 to 2022. I just feel like that was such a good era.
2000 to 2020. 22
years.
2020. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
I'm just making sure that we're talking about the right thing.
No.
The year 2000?
Right when they came back from COVID, like Chris Dickerson was still like dominating, and then Eagle was still doing his thing. Paul was still good. Ricky was still good. Like everyone that we loved was still really like Calvin was battling out for tour championships. You know, they were calling him a kid then, which is crazy. Yeah.
Gannon wasn't born yet.
Gannon was a fetus.
Ricky is still good. Let's be clear. He has 4 top 5s this year?
Hasn't won a major in 7-8 years?
Neither have you.
That's true.
But I'm not expected to.
Who wins a major first, Paul or Ricky?
Ricky.
I think Ricky wins European Disc Golf Festival.
Yeah, I could feel that. Yeah,
that's my.
I think I'm going Paul. Put me on the Paul train.
I think Rick
never left.
Rick right now.
You haven't been hurt enough.
One of those like.
The worst part is I literally said first thing in the Discord, like Paul shot 1097. He's up 6 strokes. I am so ready to be so depressed, and I wasn't. I knew it was gonna happen, and I still wasn't ready.
I think Rick has one of those like, if he's in it, he's in it.
If he's locked, he's locked.
If he's locked in, he's locked in.
He's got to get that first round going. He's always so far behind.
Dude, I feel like Ricky chasing you is one of the scariest things on the planet.
I would agree with that.
Especially if he's on your card. You never feel safe. Yeah. He's 60 feet and you're like, he's draining it.
He's gonna.
Plus, he's staring at you with those like eyes.
Knock over a
Oh my
baby
gosh.
with his mind powers.
Can't wait to bring that up again.
But if you told me, if you told, all right, let's think about this real quick. If it's 2022, right? And I said, hey, there's this kid named Isaac Robinson, and there's this guy Ricky Wysocki. So one of these guys are going to win 4 majors in the next 3 years. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's not Ricky.
Yeah,
crazy.
Very true.
How good was Isaac in 2022?
You know, that's a great question. Speaking of, I don't have a game per se tonight. I was preparing for something far greater in that I thought I'd have to pull out some stats, but I have a full Google sheet of stats comparing Gannon Buhr and Isaac Robinson for many years. So we're just gonna play a little game of a little like over under for some stats for Gannon Buhr and Isaac Robinson. We'll get through my Google sheet, and that'll be the game for tonight. And then I mean we really got to get to Tyler's Tub because I'm fiending for Tyler's Tub.
I'm gonna close my PDGA pages for Isaac and Gannon that I had open.
So first, the bulk of the stats here, I just pulled together for 2024 and 2025 for the major stat categories, right? So we're talking birdie percentage, fairway hits, parked, C1 in reg, C2 in reg, scramble, C1X putting, circle 2 putting, and OB rate. The 9 major stat categories in disc golf. In 2024, how many of those do you think, directly comparing Gannon and Isaac, did Isaac win in 2024? Did Isaac edge out Gannon in?
Can you say them again?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Birdie rate, fairway hits, parked percentage, circle 1 in reg, circle 2 in reg, scramble rate, C1X putting, circle 2 putting, and OB rate.
Jeez.
4.
And you're asking what?
How many of those? How many of those was Isaac better than Gannon in?
4.
I'll say 1.
2.
Mac is right on the nose with 2. I thought it was also important to note. Oh, go ahead.
I think it was fairways hit and circle 2 in regulation.
That's insane. He's right on the money with the 2 stats. He was fairway hits. He was 0.8% higher than Gannon. For tied second, Gannon was 5th, and circle 2 in reg, he was 3rd. Gannon was in 4th by 0.7%. Really?
Tell me I don't know ball. Tell me I don't know ball.
Got him. I have no idea. For 2025, same exercise for 2025.
All Gannon.
Oh,
4
for just this season. Isaac has had a stinker of a year so far, besides this last one. So I'm gonna go 1.
It is indeed 1. Mac is on a generational run right now. Do you want to guess which one it is?
You have to.
I'm gonna go fairways hit.
Stop the stream. Stop the stream. It is fairways hit. Gannon or Isaac is actually first in fairways hit right now at 81%. So shout out to Isaac.
First overall on tour?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but who's first?
Isaac in that one.
Okay, sorry.
So I also thought it was interesting. I pulled together their highest average event rating by year from 2022 to 2025. So by year, we'll start with 2022. Who do you think had the highest average event rating? So this is, for a full tournament, your average rating was X.
I'll say Isaac.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm going to say Isaac.
Was it 22 or 21 where Gannon lost to Drew at LWS? Or not LWS, LVC?
22.
22. That was kind of the first year Gannon started popping up.
Because he was a rookie in 21, I believe.
I think that's right.
I'm going to say, oh, man. I'm I'm gonna say it was Gannon.
Gannon highest event rating for 2022 was 1067. Isaac's was 1064. So Gannon by a few points. Same thing for Gannon. 2023. We'll go year by year here.
'23 is when Isaac destroyed everyone at Champions Cup. So, and this is just over the highest rating of the tournament, of any tournament, right?
Yeah, so their highest average tournament. So like it's all of the rounds of the tournament averaged, but just the highest event rating for the year, yeah.
Trying to think of...
Yeah, I'll go Isaac.
I'm going to say Isaac.
Isaac's highest average event rating was 1062. Gannon's was 1068. So Gannon by a few points.
What was
2024.
What was the round?
Don't know.
I'm going to guess it was Champions Cup for Isaac. I will fact check.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Gannon. Like,
I don't know.
What
I should have known because WR rates so bad. Let's see. Isaac Robinson, Champions Cup. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll just keep going. We got two more years.
We're in 24?
2024, yep.
All right, give me Gannon.
Gannon literally won everything.
Yeah, Gannon. not a question, Gannon.
Corey, is Gannon your guess as well?
Yeah, Corey said Gannon.
For the fourth time, yes.
Hey, my bad. Yeah, 2024 Gannon's highest was 1086 and Isaac's was 1061. And then finally 2025 so far this year.
Its highest overall.
Isaac.
Gannon hasn't won.
Gannon. No, wait. This year? Oh, it's
this year, yeah, 25.
I'll go Gannon.
I'm going to say Isaac because there's so much OB on this course.
Corey, did you answer? I'm so sorry.
Who's number one?
Isaac.
So Isaac's highest average this year was 1050, and Gannon's and his win at Kansas City Wide Open was 1080. As a weird note, Mac, to your point, this year's Champions Cup winners rating was the lowest in like years.
Wow.
Weirdly enough. Finally, I just looked at, so
really surprising.
Statmando has a list of the top 300 best rated rounds of all time. I did this initially by year, but we'll just go total. If you had to guess how many rounds is owned by each of these players in the top 300 rated rounds of all time, how many would you guess Gannon and Isaac have?
Top 300. I think there's only been like 40 1100 rated rounds or something like that. So that's probably like 1070 and above, I would guess. I'm gonna go 30 from Gannon and 14 from Isaac.
I'm gonna go 29 Gannon and 15 Isaac.
I'll say 24 Gannon and only 9 from Isaac.
All right, so to Mac's point, this list, the lowest rating on this list is 1090. 1090 and above to be in the top 300 rounds of all time. You guys are very generous, I will say. Gannon has 7. 7 total. He's got 1 in 2022 at 1090, 1 in 2023 at 1093, 3 last year, 1107, 1100, 1096, and 2 so far this year, 1095 and 1093 for his 7. Between 2022 and now, Isaac has 0. He has shot 1 round over 1090, and it was at a B tier in 2021. So shout out whoever got smacked at that B tier by Isaac Robinson.
How many people are out here popping off in 1090 plus rounds? That's crazy.
Yeah, I was.
Well, my
I was
question
very,
is, how
very
close
shocked.
did we get? How close did we get to our numbers if it was 10?
I was the closest.
Oh, like if you pushed the list back to 1070.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
Also,
like Gannon
interestingly
was doing
enough, I thought,
at least 1 over 1070 at tournament last year.
I thought it was interesting, to Mac's point, Ezra is on this list 4 times as opposed to Isaac's 1 B tier performance. So I think it does lend some credence to Ezra having a higher ceiling.
Ezra is the better Robinson. I'm taking Ezra in a casual round
some
every
stats
time.
that I compiled after misinterpreting a question. So I think it's, without further ado, we get to our the highlight
Taylor
of the show.
came prepared.
I was ready, bro. I was ready.
Tyler's tub.
Are we going for it right now?
Yeah, it's got to be Tyler's tub time. I am going to guess a Opto Ballista Pro.
Well, let me grab something first because I can feel the rim.
I am going to go with a Claymore.
You guys got to think about what I have too.
Zone.
No idea what you have.
All right, so wait, what do we have? Taylor, what did you say?
I said an Opto Ballista Pro.
I said a Claymore.
Claymore and
Zone is such a good guess, just percentage wise.
Hey, so for fun, should we do this Discal where I can give you hey, one of you guys got.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give the hint, and then we'll give it 3 rounds. Then how about that? So Corey's got the brand correct.
It's Discraft. Got it.
Okay. Discraft. Give me.
So now
do we a re-guess? Okay. Give me the Buzz SS.
Okay.
I'm going Avenger SS.
I'm going Zeus.
It was a Zeus.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Got him.
Cash money.
If you want to go buy a Zeus, use our affiliate link to foundationdiscgolf.com, whatever their URL actually is. You could also check that out in our description with our merch link. We have the only UFB merch owner live on the podcast, and Mac, shout out to Mac. You can also like and subscribe and listen to us weekly here on Wednesday nights at 7:45 Central Time. And we have an off week next week, so who knows what we're going to talk about. You should absolutely tune in to find out. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.